For a while, it works. Not in a dramatic way, but enough to feel real. Your thoughts sharpen. Your body feels lighter, more stable, more balanced. Sleep settles into place. Energy returns in quiet, believable increments. Something inside the system begins to shift, as if a missing signal has finally been restored. And then, almost without warning, it stops. The supplement that once felt essential fades into the background. The effect softens, then thins, until it becomes difficult to tell whether anything is happening at all. The promise that once felt dependable begins to dissolve, and no one explains why. This is not a story about bad products or false hope. It is a story about biology, adaptation, and the natural limits of external solutions. Because supplements rarely fail all at once, they don't collapse or disappear. They lose relevance slowly as the body adjusts, recalibrates, and protects its internal balance, for reasons most people are never taught to recognize. In the beginning, supplements often feel powerful because they arrive in a body that is not operating at full support. Modern life quietly creates biological gaps long before symptoms appear. Soil depletion reduces nutrient density. Chronic stress accelerates mineral loss faster than diet can replace it. Sleep debt disrupts hormone signaling. Low-grade inflammation interferes with absorption and cellular use. When a supplement fills a true biological deficit, the response can feel immediate and convincing. Magnesium calms a nervous system that has been firing without pause. Vitamin D restores immune signaling that has been muted for years. Omega fats reinforce cellular membranes that have grown fragile under metabolic strain. This is not placebo, this is correction. But correction only addresses what is missing. It does not rebuild the systems that created the deficiency in the first place. And without that deeper repair, the initial improvement is often temporary, no matter how real it feels at the start. The human body is not passive, it is adaptive by design. Every biological pathway that responds to a supplement is governed by feedback loops built to preserve balance over time. When an external input repeatedly pushes a system in one direction, the body does not remain still. It adjusts the sensitivity of that pathway to protect stability. Receptors gradually reduce their responsiveness. Enzymes alter their expression. Transport mechanisms shift priority toward regulation rather than response. What once required a subtle signal now demands a stronger one. What once reacted quickly begins to respond with caution. This is not resistance or failure, it is homeostasis. And it is at this precise point that many supplements begin to lose their impact, not because they stop working, but because the body has learned how to limit their influence. Many supplements do more than supply raw material. They bypass the body's own signaling systems. Instead of supporting communication, they step in and deliver the outcome directly. Melatonin does not rebuild circadian rhythm, it overrides it. Adaptogens do not repair the architecture of stress. They soften perception. High-dose antioxidants do not strengthen resilience. They reduce the body's need to generate its own defenses. At first, this feels helpful. The system rests. Symptoms quiet down. Relief arrives in a way that feels earned. But over time, the deeper signaling pathways grow less active because they are no longer required to engage. The body learns that the environment will solve the problem for it, and eventually, it stops trying to solve it on its own. Biology is never one-dimensional. A nutrient almost never works in isolation. Each one depends on a wider network of cofactors, enzymes, and metabolic conditions that determine whether it can function at all. Magnesium relies on B vitamins to enter and act within cells. Vitamin D depends on vitamin K, zinc, and healthy fat metabolism to be directed to the right tissues. Iron is shaped by copper status, inflammation, and the integrity of the gut lining. When one element is pushed without supporting the system around it, the body compensates in unpredictable ways. Benefits plateau, side effects appear. The supplement seems to stop working, when in reality, the surrounding biology has become the limiting factor. Adding more input does not resolve this imbalance. It usually intensifies it. Everything you swallow must pass through layers of biological filtering before it ever reaches a cell. The gut decides what is allowed to enter. The liver determines what is modified, stored, or neutralized. The kidneys decide what is released and what is removed. These systems are designed to protect the body, not to maximize supplementation. With chronic use, their workload increases. Transporters become more selective. Detox pathways upregulate. Clearance accelerates. The same dose that once raised blood levels now moves through the system with little effect. From the outside, this looks like tolerance. From the inside, it is filtration efficiency. The body is not rejecting the supplement. It is simply processing and clearing it faster than before, exactly as it was designed to do. When results begin to fade, the most common response is to add more compounds, higher doses. Complex stacks designed to force the body back into a response it once gave freely. The logic feels reasonable, but biology does not scale in straight lines. Each added input competes for absorption, enzymatic processing, and signaling priority. Pathways begin to cross-interfere. Feedback loops collide. Instead of amplification, the system experiences noise, and noise reduces clarity, not just in effect, but in interpretation. This is often the point where people decide that supplements no longer work, when the real issue is that the original signal has been buried beneath excess rather than lost altogether. Long-term improvement rarely comes from adding more inputs. It almost always comes from removing friction within the system. Sleep that is deep and regular allows hormone rhythms to reset. Movement restores glucose handling and mitochondrial signaling. Consistent exposure to natural light helps synchronize circadian input across the nervous system. Periods without supplementation give receptors time to resensitize and recover their natural responsiveness. Supplements can support this process when used with intention. They cannot replace it. The body does not want constant assistance or continuous intervention. It wants stable conditions that allow its own regulatory systems to reassert control and maintain balance over time. The most effective use of supplements is rarely permanent or indiscriminate. It is temporary, targeted, and shaped by context. Supplements work best as bridges rather than foundations, as tools rather than dependencies, as short-term support while deeper biological systems regain stability and function. When used cyclically, sparingly, and with awareness of sleep, diet, stress, and movement, supplements can remain effective far longer than when they are taken continuously without reflection. Their value lies in timing, not accumulation. The problem is not supplementation itself. The problem is permanence, the assumption that a biological system can be externally managed forever without consequence. Supplements work until they don't, because the body is not designed to be managed indefinitely from the outside. It is designed to adapt, to learn, and to restore balance when given the chance. If this story feels familiar, it may be because many people carry quiet experiences like this. A bottle that once helped, a routine that once mattered, a solution that slowly stopped being one. If you've experienced that shift, you're not alone. If this video helped you see supplements through a clearer biological lens, consider giving it a like so more people can find it. Subscribe if you want more calm, evidence-based explorations of how the body actually works. And if you feel comfortable, share your own experience in the comments, whether personal or from someone in your family. Those stories matter more than most labels ever will, because understanding the body begins not with promises, but with listening.